Hi, Nige back here again, and I've got another inbox for you, and we're going to be looking at Hobby Boss's TBF-1C Avenger in 1/48. Now, this is a relatively big box, basically it's got that bit for the actual grey plastic, and in there is the clear parts. Now for me it's a little bit too big, because obviously the clear parts in there might rattle about a bit and break, but anyhow, but yeah, so it's a big box for a kit of a really cracking aircraft, and I really like that box art actually. All right, so what we'll do, we'll put it on overhead and we'll get cracking. So as with normal Hobby Boss kits, we get a black and white booklet, and we've got our colour callouts just here, which we'll go through in a minute. So let's get cracking. So we've got our parts map just there. We then go straight into building up the engine. So we've got the engine going up, we've got the bulkheads and the mounts for the engines going on. Before we put some of the exhaust and some of the wiring harnesses on, and then moving on to the cockpit. We then got our cockpit, so you've got your pilot seat just there with a bulkhead. Moving to the rear of that, we have another bulkhead with what looks like a radio, which then the engine gets mounted onto the cockpit. We move on to our ordnance, so we've got a torpedo, a fuel tank, or some bombs to go into the actual bomb bay, which then we build up next. We then mount those into the bomb bay, it tells you to do, before then the bomb bay gets attached to the bottom of the cockpit. We then move over to the turret, so we're starting off building up the gun before we start adding more of the what looks like armor plating, then the rotating mechanism before we put on the clear glazing for the turret and a bulkhead. We've then got what looks like the tail wheel assembly. Yeah, it tells you there, the tail gear. Before then, we've got the inside of the cockpit now, so you can see we start mounting that onto there before we then put all those parts together, those sub assemblies with the wing spar, putting it all together. We've then got putting some of the hatches on, some of the clear parts just on there. Okay, so person in the ball turret area can actually see out. You actually have to split the bomb bay doors if you want them open, and then bend them to get the right look for the bomb bays. Or if you are not having the bomb bay open, you remove these parts and just attach the bomb bay door like so. We then move on to the wings. So this has got a wing fold, so you've got like the inner wing that attached to the fuselage. We've got the cowan going on, wheels, look like they might be one piece. Okay, but we'll have a look when we come to it. Adding those to the aircraft with a auxiliary fuel tank. Putting the glazing on the cockpit and the tails on. Some more glazing if you want it open or closed. We move on to the left and the right wing folds. As you can see, we've got I don't know whether they're dive brakes or whether it's just, no, they'll be the flaps. And we can also add some rockets to this aircraft as well, and some antennas. Okay, it's for the radio or for the radar. And then if you want your wings extended, or if you want your wings folded like so. And that's the main instruction manual. Let's put that over there. Fetch over the colour call out. So we've got one for BUN and O 0038 VT8 June 1942. We've then got Training Squadron, S8 markings on the fuselage, so S8 just there from 1943, and then US Block Island, 11th of January 1944. And then we have our call outs for our bombs. Would have been on the rockets as you put them on, and then we've got our colour call outs, the grey, blue, light grey, and so on, just there. So moving on to the plastic parts. So we've got our upper and lower wings. Going over this, the riveting, it's not overdone or anything like that. It's a little bit bigger than what I would like, but still very, very nice. So upper and lower wings. And then got a bag with 2 sprues in, so 1 sprue at a time. We have our control surfaces, our inner wing parts, and again the riveting looks very nice. It's maybe a little bit overdone, but it wouldn't put me off building this aircraft at all. Looks really nice, in fact. Now we're moving on to parts of the engine. So we've got the engine parts, we have the harnesses, we've got some parts of wing fold with some nice recessed rivets. The wheels are one part as a whole, but I've got a massive mold line around it, so I have to get it released, and it looks like it might have quite a bit of mold release still on this, so these will need a good wash. There are a little bit of flash here and there, nothing to write home about, nothing to worry about, but looks okay to me. Tail hook and all that sort of stuff. So that's that one. There's 2 in this sprue, but they're identical, so we'll just get the one out. So we've got our fuel tanks, we have our bombs, the different types of bombs, and our rocket parts, as well as the aerials, which you'll have to be really, really careful when you try and take those Yogi aerials off. Next up, we have the fuel tank, the torpedo, and some bulkheads and parts that looks like for the turret and what have you. Yes, the turrets. Some more parts for the wing fold, I believe. And again, some nice root detail. Quite a bit overdone on this part here, so depending on what you're going to be using, obviously, if you're going to be using the fuel tank or you're just going to be using a torpedo or one of the bombs, or couple of the bombs, should I say. So next up we have the bomb bay part. Okay, so that's the bomb bay part. Downside, we have some injection pin marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're going to have to get rid of those. I believe that's the bomb bay. It might be the cockpit floor. Underneath these parts, we've got some delicate parts just there. We've got a bulkhead. That's our bomb bay. And right, let's have a think about this. So you're going to split it down there. So if you're going to split it down there, you're going to have to get rid of these injection pin marks, and then you're going to fold it along these 2 ones here. No, that's the cockpit floor, so that is the bomb bay. So you'd only have to worry about the injection pin marks there if you are having the bomb bay open, and some of them might get hidden. So over here we've got the actual cockpit floor with one of the seats just here, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Just there. There are, and it looks like someone's tried to scrape something off in there, so the injection pin mold just there, so you'll have to tidy that up. And over here again we've got some bits that are a bit delicate. So it's got some foam around it. Is just another bit of a bulkhead, okay, or something. Just put those with them. Then we have the main fuselage with some bubble wrap, okay, around the exhaust. So I'll just cut that bit off. Right, so put that there for a minute. So start on the outside. Again, it's got the rivets and a little bit overdone, a little bit like a lot of earlier trumpeter Hobby Boss. Again, it's not a major issue, would not stop me building it. We've got instrument panel, propeller, and then we've got the exhaust, okay, just here. I'd probably look at maybe trying to drill them out a bit more. Clear parts. So start off with the main canopy, crystal clear as normal with Hobby Boss, really nicely done. We then have our turret, and again, really well done. They've done that. No, I'm not going to get into that now. On the Liberator, a newer kit than this, they've moulded that in 2 parts, so you've got to join it in the middle, whereas this one, they've moulded it all as one. I know that one's a little bit bigger, but even so, this is an older kit. So there's that. We've then got some more hatches for the clear parts, which looks really nice, and then we have the markings. So again, we'll just go and cut these. And they look really nice. Yeah, so that's that. So that's Hobby Boss's Avenger. Really nice looking kit. There also is a free, so a TBF free, whatever it is, I can't remember what mark it is, but there is a free version, okay, so slightly later version, and I'm assuming it's going to look very similar to this. Really, really nice kit. A lot of plastic there for about £35-ish. So yeah, a really nice kit, and it'll probably build up. And I know it builds up because I've seen people build it. It builds up to look really impressive. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.